Hello there, everyone. How are you? Happy Higher Self Wednesday. Happy New Year. I can say that because we're going to be in step one today, and that is a new year, a new beginning. I'm just so excited about the new year. My name is Karen White, and I am the author of this book, Changing Your Game Plan, which is on Amazon.com. It's Changing the Game Plan on Amazon.com. And what it is my workbook of how I work the 12 steps through the program with over 4 sponsors in my lifetime. I've been in both sides of these programs for over 33 years. So I'm really excited. One of the things I want to share with you is I am going to do a workshop and a webinar on the book, and we have had to change the day because of the availability of some of my staff, so I will come back with you on that probably by next Wednesday. But I'm so excited because the title of it is sponsorship, and I'm going to be teaching on it, and I'm looking forward to it. I will give you more information about it. All the information is right there on how to order the book. Also, I've been getting a lot of response from all of you. I am so thankful. You guys are so nice. All the like my video, asking me, about coaching, asking me about sponsorship, asking me, do I speak at meetings? What meetings do I speak at? All the above, yes. If I'm available, I'm more than willing to do that. You have to go out on programchild.net to contact me. I do not contact anyone through Messenger. So go to programchild.net and there's a contact form there. And if you fill it out, it will get to me and then we will answer you back on anything that you have a need for. And go out on programchild.net anyway. It's a really great resource. It has all the 12-step programs. It has a lot of them, not all of them, but it has a lot of the links to the different 12-step programs out there. It's just a good source of information. And so I'm so excited. I'm sorry that we had to come off of Facebook, but Facebook kept shutting us down with these live videos. So what I'm doing now is I'm pre-recording these videos and making sure that they're up for you every Wednesday at noon. So every Wednesday at noon, you will have these videos available to you. Um, I like to work out of 4 books. And the 4 books that I like to work out of is the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, the AA 12 and 12, the Al-Anon 12 and 12, and the Old Dad. And on Higher Self Wednesday, I'll be teaching all this month, step 1 out of all 4 of those books. So if you're in the addictive side of the program, we'll cover you. And if you're in the non side of the program, Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, any of those, we're going to cover you as well. So it's going to be a full teaching as much as I can on step 1. And these videos only last from 15 to 30 minutes, so enjoy them, share them, and get people involved and have them to look at the videos on Wednesday. So let's get started because, of course, I always say this, we have a lot to cover. One of the things that I like to do is when I do the steps, and it's in the book, Changing the Game Plan, uh, when I sponsor someone or I take anyone through the steps, I like to have them to look up every single word in that step because I believe that Bill Wilson and put these words strategically together for a reason, of course, to help us recover. But so it's very important that we understand fully what the step means. And I always say, if you don't understand, you will never make the changes. And so step 1 says, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Well, now, the first word in that step starts off with we. And it's very important that you understand. You see we, the, them, us. You see words that always unifies us as more than one because these steps cannot be worked alone. And one of the things that I did in my book, Changing the Game Plan, this book cannot be worked alone. You have to have a sponsor, a clergyman, or somebody to help you work this program. As well as when we go to meetings, we have people there to share their experience and help, experience, strength, and help with us, and that helps us work the program. So remember, none of these steps are meant to work alone. You have to work them with someone, with the group, however you're working them, okay? So the first word in our very first step, which is so important, this step is so crucial to our recovery, because without step one, you cannot move any further, because step one is what identifies what our disease and sickness is and how we have to come to the terms with it. And it calls the terms powerlessness. And so powerless. And so the step says, again, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. The first word we means I and another or others, not including you. So it means I, another, or others, not including you, meaning that it takes a village almost to get us through this, because I have my sponsor, I have my meetings, I have my friends at the meeting. I mean, this is my saga of working the 12 steps. I am constantly always using every single tool that this program gives me. It gives me books, it gives me literature, it gives me videos like this. There's other videos like this. So, the we part is I and another or others, not including you. Admit means to concede as true or valid. Isn't that something? Admit means to concede as true or valid. It says, again, we. And of course, the we means another or others not included. And then it goes to the big word, powerlessness. And that word means lacking strength or power, helpless or total ineffectual, without power or authority. I love that word. It was so powerful to me, this word. Over means in or at a position above or higher than. Alcohol means a colorless, flammable liquid, intoxicating liquid containing alcohol. And remember, the 12 steps, I don't care what program you're in, if you're in AA, NA, Gamblers Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, CODA, Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, Overeaters Anonymous, no matter what, our 12 steps come from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that is a necessity book. And no matter what program you're in, because that is the book that will teach you about the steps. And so whenever you see alcohol, just put whatever you're dealing with, control, gambling, overeating, anything that you're dealing with, just take it out and just put whatever your disease and sickness is. And it says that, and that is used to refer to one's destination, implied, mentioned, or understood. Ours means belonging to or associated with all people or people in general. Isn't it powerful how he put 3 words in here, or actually put 4 words in here that contain to being not by ourselves with a group or another. 4 words. We have 2 we's, we have were, and then are in this step. And then lives mean the course of existence or sum of experience actions, a person's existing. Anything or anyone considered to be a precious as life. It says anyone or anything considered to be as precious as life. Isn't that powerful? Become means to grow or come to be. And unmanageable means difficulty or impossible to manage. Isn't that powerful? Unmanageable. Difficult or impossible to manage. So this step is really, really powerful. And today I'm going to share a little bit. I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to share from the Big Book today. I'm also going to share my experience of how I took this step, and because this step changed my life. This step took the pressure off of me, and it also gave me the knowledge of what was going on with me. Because when it says admit, it allowed interest into my life. So step one for me, when I was working the step, the first time that I was working the step, I came into the program. My very first meeting was on steps 1, 2, and 3. And it was so awesome. And I was sitting there, and the people that were talking about it, it was interesting because when I came into these rooms, let me tell you, I was a mess. I was in the room all through the meeting crying hard. They literally gave me a box of Kleenex, and they kept the meeting going. I don't know how they could even get through me, because I was just a wreck when I came in here trying to identify why I couldn't stop doing what I was doing, and why I was in this feeling that I just wanted to die. I just felt like I just wanted to die. And so coming into this program, one of the things that you will find out in the book, Changing the Game Plan, is I read the first 164 pages in the big book. And when you read the first 164 pages in the big book, you will really get a feel to what this program is all about. I always say that the chapters are so, I love the way the chapters just lead up to the big chapter, which to me is how it works, because that's when you start getting into the steps and stuff like that. But I always say the chapters that lead up to that are leading us up to our powerlessness. I always say they're the step 1 and 2 of the program that leads us up to our powerlessness. Now let's talk about powerlessness, because that's very important. And then I'm going to do some reading from the big book and do some stuff. Powerlessness means lacking strength or power. It was so hurtful to me to see that word at first, because I always thought growing up that powerless, if you were powerless, you were weak. You had to have power. You had to have power all in everything that you were doing. You had to have power over yourself. You had to have power over others. You had to have and if you didn't, you manipulated, or you did whatever it took to make you feel powerful, or do something powerful. And so when I came in this program, of course I was defeated, because any life that's run on power, and thinking that you're powerful, is a life of total defeat. And because you cannot run your life on being powerful. You can run it on being powerless. Because what happened was, when I admitted, and admitted means to concede as true or valid. When I admitted the truth that I was powerless over, and that means over the position above everything, powerlessness. If you think of powerlessness, think of it like this. Powerlessness is pouring water into a glass that does not have any bottom. That means it never, never stops. You are totally powerless. There is no way that you can get it back. That is just how it is. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a strength. Because when you can become powerless over something and realize that you are powerless, it gives you it takes the pressure off of you. And it really started that adventure of my spirituality, because then I started thinking, if I'm powerless over this, then maybe God can help me with this. And it kind of opened me up to let go and let God. That's the best slogan that I could think of to use for that. Let go, Karen, and let God. And then it goes on to say, and that my life was unmanageable. I mean, it puts the word alcohol in there, and of course our program, comes from, Alcoholics Anonymous. And that, I love how it talks about alcohol. It says intoxicating liquid containing alcohol. And you know what was funny? No matter what room that you're in, if you're in AA or you're in Naranan or you're in Sexanon, whatever room you're in, think about this. If you put a bottle of alcohol in front of you right now and you drink it, no matter whether you have the addictive part of it and the non-addictive part, you can't tell that what to do. That means once it gets in your body, it takes total control over you. And that's the same with when we have the wrong attitude or the wrong structure, and we're eating these things and we're taking these things into our spirit. And then when they get in there, we just lose control over it. And none of us can tell it what to do. I can't say, well, put a little bit in my right hand and go to my hip and just put a little bit in my toe or something like that. Can't do nothing like that with it. Once it's in me, total power, total control. And so when I think about powerlessness over whatever it is, person, place, or things, alcohol, my situation, whatever, my eating, whatever you're dealing with, my gambling, whatever you're dealing with, the part that I liked is to understand that that word represents our addiction. And the big book calls alcohol and alcoholics, and it calls what happens to us a disease. And so if you really think about it, we are suffering from a disease that, that without such spiritual help, we cannot function. We can try, yes. Can you live a whole life and never get an AA or Al-Anon or Naranan or whatever? I'm sure you can. And there are people that function like that. I personally can't. I have to have the 12 steps first, and then I can function in other arenas. I can function at work. I can function in church. I can do other things when I have these in me, because these 12 steps have taught me about my sickness and my disease. But it also gave me the medicine that I needed to help cure it and keep it under control. It can stay cured forever as long as I work the tools of this program. If I don't, it will rise out of me. But I do have the tools now to contain it. And I love the part that it says, and then our lives have become unmanageable. And that is no lie. I don't care what program you're in. Unmanageable, difficult, and impossible to manage. Yes, all of us have come to that point where it's been unmanageable. It has become difficult and impossible to manage our lives or manage somebody else's lives, whichever room that you're in, or just unmanageable. And that's what happened to me when I came into this program. I was totally defeated, but because of working this step and getting it done and working through it with my sponsor, it took the pressure off of me. And it made me accept myself as who I was and what I was going through at the time. And it also gave me the tools and the understanding that this was going to be something that I was probably going to have to deal with all my life to grow into the person that I needed to be. I had to accept this. Step one is a huge acceptance. You have to accept the disease. You have to accept the fact that you're going to need help. And a lot of times we come in here, we don't want people to know what's really going on with us. We don't want them to know what's going in our house. Now, we do bottom out. A lot of us come in here and we're ready to tell everything. But a lot of times, so this step really is a huge acceptance that I'm sick, that I have a disease, that I need spiritual help, that my life is unmanageable right now. But the hope of it is that you can be cured and you can be helped in this program. So let's jump into some of our literature before I finish, so we can kind of look at what the big book says about this step. I'm going to go to chapter 3 in the big book, which is more about alcoholism. And I'm going to go to page 30. And I'm going to start with the third, actually, let me do the second and the third um, paragraph, because that is going to teach us a lot about being powerless. It says, we learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost selves that we were alcoholics. It's, and remember, put that, whatever, your program is, put that in there right now. It says, this is the first step in recovery. So it's saying to concede to our innermost selves that we are alcoholic, or we are Al-Anon, or we have a problem with drinking, we have a problem controlling people, we have a problem eating, we have a problem gambling, we have a problem with sex. You have to conclude, it says you have to conceive this in the innermost self of you, the inside of you. It says, it goes on to say, the delusion that we are like other people, or presently may be, has to be smashed. Has to be smashed. We alcoholics are men and women who have lost the ability to control our drinking. We know that no real alcoholic ever recovers control. All of us felt at times that we were regaining control, but such intervals, usually brief, were indelible, followed by still less control, which led in time to pitfalls and demoralization. It goes on to say, we are convinced to a man that alcoholics of our type are in the grip of a progressive illness. Over any considerable period, we get worse, not better, without this program. And that helped me so much come to conceive that step one, that I was powerless, totally defeated over alcohol, and that my life had become unmanageable. And no matter what room that I'm in, that I go in, I always go in, even today, I am powerless. And you know what powerless does? It broke me down. It made me like a child again. It makes me, sometimes I go in the store or right in now, and somebody will do something or say something. The cashier might be having a bad day or whatever. And it gave me that tool to say, okay, I'm powerless. There's nothing I can do about that. It also gave me the ability to start praying for people and praying for myself. Karen, you're powerless over this. You're powerless over your thinking today. You're powerless over this job. You're powerless over what you want to do today. Your life has become unmanageable. Pray about it. So that's why I think that step 11 is kind of mixed into all these steps from the beginning, even though we work 1 through 10, because step 1 definitely had me praying a lot for myself as well as others. There's another part, and I just have a few more minutes. And we might have to continue this next week, and maybe I'll do that because I wanted to share a little bit more about me so you can kind of get my understanding of where I'm going for. And so I probably will start the other part of the big book next week. But do not allow yourself to feel bad about powerlessness. If you have not worked this program with a sponsor, get a sponsor. If you're in therapy, get a therapist. If you are a therapist and you need more information about this because you're not in a 12-step program and you really want to know the depth of that, get somebody to help coach you through this, because without this step being fully taken and taken in the right way, it's hard to manage what the second, the third, and the rest of these steps are going to bring out in you. We have to begin right here. We have to accept where we are. And this is the step that helps us to accept exactly what we are, where we are, and what we need to do from this point on. So we run out of time. I will be back. There are so many videos on YouTube right now, so go out there, enjoy them. They are very, very helpful. Don't be ashamed of yourself if you need to listen over and over again. Get your literature out. Read your literature. Go to meetings. That's so important. One of the things, if you go on programchild.net, it will link you to whatever your addiction or your control is in this program, to the websites that have meetings for you that you can go to. It's special right now because we have so many meetings out here. We have great Zoom meetings going on. We just have a lot of things that are available to us, speaking like this, people that are talking and sharing their experience, strength, and hope. So I will be with you next Wednesday, and we will continue studying, and we will really get into the literature next week and see what the big book says about this situation, because it's very important that we learn how to use the tools that we have been so blessed to use right now. Have a great rest of the week until we meet again. And remember, go to meetings, get a sponsor, and get healthy. Blessings over you today, great people.